All right. Well, I think we are live, and welcome to the second part of a four-part series, which is intended to highlight some key takeaways from our customer summit, the HawkSearch Customer Summit last month. And first of all, shout out to all the customers who were able to make it in person, and thank you for everyone who is able to join us today on this webinar. I'm really excited for this one for two reasons, Jordan. One, we'd built a ton of demos and POCs prior to our customer conference. And as you and I both know, we weren't able to quite finish this one. I think we had too many balls in the air at that point. But we were able to talk about the theory behind it. You know, we always do prefer to show exactly how to do something. So that's the first reason. The second reason, another key thing that we wanted to do for the conference, just in general, was highlight some underutilized HawkSearch features. There's so many gems inside of HawkSearch, and this one is certainly one of them. And this webinar comes at a perfect time as we just got back from Opticon 2024, which is absolutely amazing. So thank you to our friends at Optimizely for hosting us and maybe putting up with us for 3 years in a row. Jordan, do you mind giving an introduction?
Yeah, sure. My name's Jordan. I'm a technical product manager here at Bridgeline, working specifically on HawkSearch. So yeah, I get to be a part of presenting all of our new and exciting features.
Yep, absolutely. And my name is Kyle Mitzner. I'm the Vice President of Customer Success here at Bridgeline. I've been working with HawkSearch for about 3 years now, anywhere from the product team to the sales team to actually delivering projects. And now I'm in customer success and able to work more closely with our customers on features that they may not have utilized yet. And like I said before, this is definitely one of them. So, Jordan, I think let's move forward here and let's get right into things.
Great.
Okay, so this webinar is all about experimentation. However, at the end, we do have a fun little smart response that we're going to show off as well. But the majority of it is going to be dominated by A/B testing experimentation. So if we can keep moving forward here, we're actually going to be using Optimizely experimentation. This will work whether you're using Optimizely or some other platform to run A/B testing. But we're going to show you how to do it in Optimizely and in HawkSearch. So one thing we did at the Customer Summit when we presented this then was we asked our customers these 3 questions. We asked who is familiar with A/B testing experimentation, who here is actively running A/B testing software, and finally, who has run an A/B test with HawkSearch itself. And the answers were pretty surprising. I mean, I think the first one's pretty obvious. We had 90%. Almost everyone knew what experimentation was. Around 50% of everyone who was there was actively running A/B testing software. But the most interesting one is that 0% of our attendees were actually running an A/B test with HawkSearch, which is why we're here today, right, Jordan?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. And the best news about this is that you can A/B test all merchandising rules in HawkSearch. So like I said, it's a very, very, very underutilized feature. It's built into the license for our HawkSearch customers. There's nothing extra you need to do. You can, after this webinar, literally go in and set up a visitor target and run an A/B test. And we're going to show you in 3 steps exactly how to do it. The first step will be in HawkSearch, and then we'll get into Optimizely, and you'll see how it all works. So we're going to run through it. There's 3 steps, and we're going to run through it twice for you. So we'll explain it in the presentation here, and then we're going to physically show you how to do it. Okay, the first one leverages our newest front-end framework, Rapid UI. One of the coolest things with Rapid UI is that even if you're not using Rapid UI for the front end, for the search bar, for search results, all that good stuff, you can actually still use it to implement a recommendation widget. Now, I know there's some code on the screen here, and I'll make this as simple as possible. If you were to use Rapid UI and you were to implement a widget, wherever it might be on your website, it's very simple. Is you put in the ID of the first widget, and then you put a comma. You'll see in that second. So a normal widget, it just has the first ID, the ID that you set up for that recommendation widget. For an A/B test, it's simply you put the second widget in and put a comma between them, and that's it. it will split the traffic 50-50. You can't change the traffic. You can't change it to 60-40, 70-30. It's 50-50. It's kind of a wild card. You can check HawkSearch reporting on it, but this is a very basic version of an A/B test inside of HawkSearch.
Exactly.
Yeah. Now, let's get a little bit more comfortable with recommendation or A/B testing. So this one we can do without any A/B testing software. This one is more so designed just to get comfortable, as the name implies, with actually experimenting and setting this up inside of HawkSearch. The good news is it is very, very easy. And once you've done this one time, it will be very clear on how to continue doing this and to get into more advanced experimentation. So the first thing we need to do, very simple, is set up a visitor target. In this example, we are using a custom ID here. That part is actually not even really needed. It's just you need to create a visitor target, give it a name, that's it. The second thing you need to do is set up a rule which the visitor target hits, a merchandising rule of some kind. This could be Boost and Berry, this could be a campaign, this could be item pin, this could be a visibility rule. Literally anything inside the merchandising workbench leverages visitor targets. So anything that has a trigger from a visitor target can be A/B tested. And in this example, Jordan, when we get into the actual demo phase, we'll show you, you can literally just adjust the URL and see the difference in the split traffic. Okay, now we get into the real meat and potatoes, is the advanced A/B test. And this is where we do recommend using an A/B testing software solution. In this case, like I said, we're going to use Optimizely, but this can be triggered in any A/B testing or experimentation platform that you're currently using. So all we need to do is we need to trigger the A/B test somehow, whether it's a page or maybe it's a link or maybe whatever it might be. Two is we split the traffic in Optimizely. Very easy. You literally set up the experiment and you can change the traffic, the split on the traffic. Then you can start to build advanced configurations. And then probably one of the most important things is the analytics behind it. Experimentation software has more advanced analytics around what's happening with the actual traffic and who's clicking on what. And that's why if you really want to get to the advanced phase of A/B testing, you probably want to pick an experimentation platform.
Totally.
We do have some other good news, and I'm not going to talk on this too much, but we are building in experimentation and A/B testing features into the platform. So that'll be coming next year. I'm not going to get too into it, like I mentioned, because we actually do have this, the second part of a 4-part series. In the 4th part, we actually do have an announcement with the platform itself. So I won't cover this too much, but just know there are some features coming to HawkSearch specifically for A/B testing. Okay, now this is where it gets fun, Jordan, and I'll ask you to share your screen. But we're gonna, at the end, like I said, we're gonna do a smart response on. We have set up a demo with some security products in it. And the fun thing is we've set the agent to be sassy, which is a perfect. I think
my favorite demo site that we have.
Yeah, it's perfectly fitting because security is obviously a pretty serious issue, but having a sassy agent respond to you is kind of fun and it makes it interesting. But without further ado, Jordan, if you don't mind sharing your screen, and we'll run through all the 3 examples I just talked about.
Great. So first, we're going to talk about that simple A/B testing with a recommendation widget. Obviously, this is simply some HTML, and then we pass both the IDs of both the recommendation widgets you would like the traffic to be split with. So, and as Kyle mentioned earlier, it's completely at random, but the traffic is split 50-50. So if I refresh my page here, you'll be able to see.
There we got wire again, but
yeah, we got wire again.
Let's see.
And
there you go. We got
our
fuses. So those are our 2 recommendation widgets, and yeah, it's randomly picking which widget gets displayed.
Yep, very simple to set up, very entry level, but it'll get you on your feed.
Yes, absolutely.
The
Okay.
second one.
Yeah, the second one was getting comfortable. So this is, setting up the visitor target, getting a merchandising rule, and then just switching the URL so you can see the difference between the two.
Totally. So to get started here, we can navigate in the workbench to visitor targets and personas. And we've already set one up here for us called getting comfortable. If we open this up, for our purposes here, it doesn't matter what this value is as long as it's set to something and we've given it a name. If we back,
And the important thing here is the bucket number.
Yep.
The bucket number is going to affect, that's what we're going to put into the URL.
Yep, the bucket number will be set to a query parameter in the URL, and that's what handles the switching.
Yep. In this case, we set up an item pin, and I believe we're pinning HDMI cables to the top of the results.
Yep. And one of the powerful tools in the workbench, obviously, is our preview. Kyle will never leave me alone if I forget to show this feature because it is so powerful.
Mm-hmm.
And we can actually just come down here and view this as the visitor target we'd like, which in this case is getting comfortable. And if you look up here, we have 3 products, HDMI cables that are pinned for that visitor target.
Awesome. So without the visitor target, we're expecting just normal results, and then passing in that visitor target ID, we expect those HDMI cables to be pinned to the top of results, which we can see here.
So without passing the visitor ID, you can see that these are just some standard standard results that are returned with a no search, and then we can go ahead and pass the visitor target as a query parameter up here, and it results in having those HDMI cables pinned.
Awesome.
All right. Moving on from there, we have our advanced A/B test with leveraging Optimizely. And we have to start from scratch again here in the workbench. We can pop open merchandising again and go and view a visitor target that we've created called Optimizely Demo. Again, what's actually configured in this case isn't super important as long as this has something in here. What we're concerned about with is the bucket ID. And in this case, as Kyle mentioned earlier, you can configure any sort of merchandising based off of these visitor targets. In this case, we're leveraging our boost and bury rules. So as you can see here, we have a rule set up to boost HID, which is, I believe, card scanners if the user is in that visitor target.
Yeah, and the key thing here is, if you scroll down here, is the triggers inside of the HawkSearch workbench. Obviously, really powerful tool because, you can trigger off a visitor target. You can trigger off a multitude of things. For our use case, we're just going to use a visitor target, but this is where the HawkSearch workbench becomes super powerful. And I know there's some other tools that are, we'll say, a little bit more dev heavy. And this is where HawkSearch really starts to shine, is the ease of use in setting up these types of rules.
Definitely. No code changes needed to configure this.
Yeah, exactly.
So we can pop again over to preview and view instead as the Optimizely demo. And as you can see, no search was entered, but all of these card scanners are boosted with a boost value of 200, making them return higher than the standard results. Yep. The next step here is to open up Optimizely, and we can back out a little bit. So these are different optimizations that you can create. We've created a security demo. And we have 2 variations here. Variation 1 is without the visitor target being passed, and the original is without, and variation 1 is with.
And Jordan, do you mind just zooming in a tiny bit?
Yeah, sorry.
Thank you on your 55-inch. Just kidding.
Maybe that's a bit much, but this is better.
Yeah, that's way better.
And nicely enough, Optimizely renders out a preview for you here.
And the cool thing here is, so to get this rendered, just to take a quick pause,
yes,
is Jordan, as you know, all we took from Optimize It was that little JavaScript, is like that single line that you embedded in our front end. And then in Optimize It, we just put in the URL, which you can see at the top there, the URL targeting for a security demo. So literally, I think this took us less than 5 minutes to set up, is the JavaScript in our front end of our demo site. And then number 2 is just putting that link. It's obviously pointing to our FTP, our POC demo location. This would just be whatever the front end is for your site. But that's it, just putting that JavaScript in and then putting the URL target. That's all we had to do here. And then, as you're going to show in the variation, we put in a redirect, and the same thing that we did in the previous step where we took the visitor target group and added it to the URL. It's the same thing here, is we're just adding that visitor target to the redirect. And now through Optimize It, we can split the traffic to the 2 different pages.
Yep. And you can,
or 2 different search results, I should probably say.
Yeah. And you can view those results just by clicking preview here. And as you can see, you're left with the HID results being boosted due to the visitor target being set to that bucket number that we assigned when creating the visitor target.
Yeah, and if you go back to just to show the original, if you switch to the original variation, it doesn't actually have, the only difference is it doesn't have that URL parameter. And you can see these are just the normal search results without the boost on the category. Or is it category? No, just I think keyword HID.
Yep, exactly.
So pretty powerful stuff. I think we had this one set up to a 70-30 split. Obviously, the important thing with Optimize is you can add all kinds of triggers in. We don't have a trigger set yet on this one, but you can imagine all the different possibilities for triggering or for merchandising inside of HawkSearch. So it becomes very powerful, very quick. And I know, Jordan, you and I, we sat down right before the customer conference and we were trying to get this to work, and we literally just had the wrong number in
yeah. So I'll give an insider tip here. When you're configuring these visitor targets in the workbench, I think a common misconception, at least it's my misconception, is that it's that you would think, or at least I first thought that it was this number that we configured in here to be passed as a visitor target, but it's the bucket number. So when you're going through and creating this, make sure when you're testing on your side that you're passing the bucket number through the URL and not that number that I configured in the layer below.
Yeah. We banged our heads against the wall for a little while and then realized it was the bucket number that we need to pass in. So that was a bit embarrassing. But outside of that, as long as you use the bucket number, I think last night we set this one up last night. We did the POC with all the products and everything inside of HawkSearch prior, but I think this took us like 5 minutes to set up the actual experiment.
Yeah, no time at all. And again, like there's so many different tools that you can use with this, and it's quick. It's very quick to set up.
Yeah. And I know, so Jordan, we have 12 minutes left. We'll show the smart response thing, but really quick, can you just go back into visitor targets? Because, one thing we talked about at the customer conference a lot, and it might be covered by another webinar, but is personalization inside of HawkSearch. And visitor targets is a really, 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 really important section of HawkSearch. And it's one of the key sections for personalization in general. Obviously, we can split traffic using these visitor targets, but if you just go add a new visitor target, we just add a random one. There's a lot of things that we can do inside of here. And if you go to add condition, and let's just look at the drop down really quick, because this is a really good way to understand how HawkSearch can be leveraged. There's a lot of different out of the box options here using like language or country or things that are passed in through cookies or whatever it might be. We're using that custom ID, the custom one in our example. You can set up whatever you want, but the important thing for anyone, especially if you're in B2B or maybe you have logged in users, that custom one is how you can start to personalize. We're using this for visitor targets, but you can actually, without using a visitor or without leveraging A/B testing, you can use visitor targets to personalize results for your entire user group or for specific users or however you want to use it. But this is a really, really key section of the HawkSearch Workbench for personalization in general.
Great.
Okay, Jordan, should we get into the fun section? And
yeah,
I know
sure.
when we presented this at the Customer Summit, you changed the prompt on the fly. Let's do the first one, and then I don't want to put you on the spot.
I don't know about switching it on the fly today. I'd have to boot up
not
my
feeling it
coding
today.
environment.
That's okay.
I'm feeling it. I don't know if everyone else would be feeling watching me navigate my file to get all that loaded up.
Okay. Well, if you can explain the prompt at least, and then we'll turn it on and do a concept search.
I'll explain the prompt. So the prompt here is that the smart response is to act as an agent to help the shopper, in this case me, find products that I'm looking for on the site, with the caveat that there's actually a burglar outside my house right now. And also it's supposed to be telling me that I would have not been in this situation had I already had the products on the site. I also told it to be a little funny and be sassy with me and use as many emojis as it possibly can. All this is to show like our smart response is capable of returning all sorts of different types of characters, and it can even render its own HTML. So you'll see a lot of the times font will be bolded. There'll be different sections set up, different lists, all the hyperlinks within it work. All of those sorts of things. Sometimes it'll render a nice little box for you. But in this case, I can say something like, it's dark out, but I'd still like to record video. Oh, it's a little confused in this case, but hold on.
It's hallucinating. I mean, technically, those are AVR. Like those AVRs are recording video. It's technically.
It also chose to use Comic Sans.
Comic Sans and Pink.
I gave it full reign over whatever it wanted, and it chose Comic Sans, which is really great. I'll just simplify a little bit. Cameras that can see. Here we go. So these cameras that returned are night vision cameras this time, and we can give smart response a second.
Camera queen. I like it. Let's find you that eye in the night. That's a good one. That's a good line. Every time it responds, it just blows my mind with
a lot of the times
with these one-liners.
With smart response, I steal some of the things it says throughout the day when I'm debugging all of these things, and then I try to use them in my conversations with the coworkers throughout the day.
It's like a game.
Yeah, exactly.
And I like it says embrace the dark side.
Yeah,
I like it. Do you want to do one more, just for fun?
Sure.
Do something around like we got robbed last night or something. What do you think?
Yeah. Let's see. I'm not sure what kind of products we'll get back because this is a very not product-centric query. This would be better suited for our conversational search component, which if you haven't seen us talk about that, we have a webinar explaining how easy it is to get set up with that. And go back in time and view that one.
There you go. Burglary alert. Oh, I like that first one actually. Housing and mounts. Maybe that's why. So that's a rack screws. Perfect for mounting a spotlight. Actually, one thing. Well, I don't think it'll actually work because the URLs will be broken. But it's recommending categories, which is really cool because obviously, if this was an actual site, we could click on the category and get straight to search.
Well, actually, it should work here.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. In this case, there's a little bit of a bug on this demo site, but these are all configured to work straight out of the box. As you can see, it's actually selecting the category, but there's a bit of a bug here.
There you go. Security alert, darling. This one gets me every time. I know. So at the Customer Summit, Jordan, when we opened it up, we had a little bit of fun with it. And, we won't do it today, but we opened it up for some agent ideas. And I think the one that was suggested was well, one of them. We did a few, I think, but was Pirate Speak.
Yeah,
that was pretty fun too.
Yeah. If we had Jonathan on here, we could make him do the voices, but
yeah,
you'll have to catch another webinar to hear
there you go.
Jonathan interpret the smart response.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Jordan, let's keep this one short and sweet. I know we have a couple minutes left. I'm not sure if there's any comments in the chat, but and if you don't mind going back here, the important thing is that A/B testing is really easy through HawkSearch. You can set it up through Visitor Target. And definitely reach out to us if you guys have any questions, if you want help setting something up. We're more than happy to do so. We do have 2 parts left in our webinar series post Customer Summit. Next week, December 3rd, we have HawkSearch Hidden Gems. Obviously, we kind of just unveiled one, but A/B testing is a very important hidden gem. But we have some more for next week if you'd like to join. And then to round it all off, we have another Smart Search demo, but more importantly, a really big reveal for the HawkSearch product itself.
Great.
Well, Jordan, thank you very much for joining, and thank you everyone who was able to join us as well. Have a fantastic day, and we'll be chatting very soon.
All right. Bye-bye.